Live from McWhorter Stadium here on the campus of Clemson University in Clemson, South Carolina, it's ACC softball action this afternoon as the homestanding Clemson Tigers take on the Hokies of Virginia Tech. And hi, everybody, I'm Don Munson along with the coach, Scott Whitlock, as we welcome you into Clemson, South Carolina. A good one here this afternoon between these two ACC foes.
Both teams were off to good starts. They both have picked up a couple of wins over the last weekend. Virginia Tech won 3 against Kennesaw State, and Clemson Tigers were down in Florida where they picked up a couple of wins. They both were in the middle of good seasons back in 2020 when the virus shut us down. This ought to be a fun series.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the pitching matchup here in the game today. Let's first, inside the circle for the Hokies is Keely Richard.
Richard can pitch. I got a chance to watch her play last weekend. She picked up 2 wins last weekend, struck out 9 a game. She really can throw.
A good one also on the hill for the Clemson Tigers as they will answer with Valerie Cagle.
Valerie Cagle last year was so impressive. She loves the big moment, and she leads this Tiger team. She's a 5'2" player. Can't wait to watch her play.
Back here in Clemson, South Carolina. Don Munson, Scott Whitlock along with you as we're getting set for the first pitch here. You take a look there at Valerie Cagle. We've already obviously told you a little bit about Cagle, but already she's come up with a couple of key performances inside the circle for John Rittman's club here in 2021.
She also does it with the bat.
Yes, she did. Had a couple of home runs, as a matter of fact, in the second game, a 4-3 win for Clemson. That was
against North Florida.
Yeah.
And I've played there on their campus many times, and North Florida's a tough team to beat at home.
And if you don't know, Clemson's program first started last year. That win at North Florida, the first true road win for Clemson softball. Virginia Tech, take a look at their head man right there, Pete Demore. And you can see him bundled up because it is a cold, kind of bone-chilling February day here in Clemson, South Carolina. We've had rain that has pushed through, but take a look at their starting lineup. And obviously 14th in the country. This is, I don't know, as head coaches, Scott, that you'd like to be playing league games this early on, but hey, you got to get the league started at some point in time, and here we go.
Well, it's unusual, but these are unusual times, and I guarantee you that these coaches and players are just grateful to have an opportunity to go out and play.
Let's take a look defensively for Clemson. As you'll see how they settle up. Clark there in center. You want to try to be strong up the middle, obviously, in this game. Gilstrap and Pereira can pick it pretty good at short and at second. And Hyatt behind the plate, I think, really in year one was a very pleasant surprise, I think, for Clemson.
Absolutely. There was a lot of great surprises for Clemson last year as they jumped out in their inaugural season. And this year is a year about taking the next step. And they're going to get tested today because Virginia Tech is a legitimate top 20 ball club.
No doubt about it. Leading it off will be Cameron Fagan, the shortstop. Left-handed hitter at .455 so far through 3 ball games this year. Already 5 hits and 11 at-bats and has scored 3 times, a couple of RBIs. And our first pitch from Cagle, low and away.
Cagle likes to work. She likes to go at a pretty good pace out there. And I guarantee on a day like today, the pitchers are going to probably work quick.
I don't think they want to be standing out there in that circle too much. Here's a chopper that will go foul.
Yep.
And leave the things up at a ball and a strike.
This is a very stereotypical matchup to start a game. You got a fast pair of feet, slap type hitter in the box against a power pitcher.
The 1-1 will miss away.
She's been low and outside the zone both times she's tried to go there with that pitch.
Fagan started all 3 games in the series opener against Kennesaw State for Virginia Tech. That'll run it.
Yeah, Virginia Tech went down to Georgia and won 3 straight.
Leaving us up at 2-2.
Getting that first out of an inning is always big and important.
2-2. Took something off. And the freshman Fagan able to foul it away.
First thing I've noticed about Fagan is she makes contact. She's a battler in there. She spoils good pitches.
And this guy was a 2019 All-USA preseason team selection. Chose Virginia Tech over Missouri and Liberty. And here's a chopper to third. Going to be a tough play. Not in time. Speed down the path.
That's what she does. She just slapped that ball right in the dirt, and when that ball took that big hop, the third baseman didn't have any choice. She went ahead with the throw, but she could have done just as well to put it in her pocket.
So, leadoff man aboard here for Virginia Tech here in the top of the first. And here is Jamie Bailey, the right fielder. And pitch will miss low and in. 1-0.
She has missed low and in every time she's tried to work the right side of the plate, or the right-handed hitter side of the plate.
We'll be interested to see if Virginia Tech will be moving the runner at first here early on. Fagan 2 of 3 so far in stolen bases. There's a chopper third that goes foul. 1-1.
Pete Diamore is very opportunistic on his running. He, if he sees a good matchup, he's going to take off and go. He's not afraid to. But he also always shows great confidence in his hitters. He lets them go up there and do their job. A lot of people right now would be bunting, but so far there's no signs of that out of Virginia Tech.
1-1 do Bailey. Swing and a miss.
I think she might have got a piece of that.
Home plate umpire Jim Cooper, Robert Guest over at first, and Todd Davis, third base side. 1-2. That one is swung on a miss. There's a late move from first down to second, and out there will be Fagan.
Yep, a little bit of confusion right there. I think the base runner Fagan thought she might have fouled that off. She clearly did not. And so what you had turned into a strike them out, throw them out, double play.
So that'll be a...
You'll see right here, she clearly swings and misses the ball in the dirt, but the base runner broke and then froze.
So
and the easy tag was made, and now there's 2 outs just like that.
Caught stealing 2-6. So with 2 away, here's Chavez. He missed inside to Grace Chavez, the DH. 1 for 4 so far in the season. Has only played in 1 game. Started that contest. There's one that bounces out in front of the plate. Now 2-0.
Chavez, strong looking hitter. Had 1 base hit in 4 appearances in this early part of the year. Right now, the stats on these hitters are not nearly as important as are they getting good swings? Are they looking good? As she loops one right there in the right.
And flared one out to right field to keep the inning alive with 2 away. She'll be at first for Slaw.
I thought Lombardo might make a play on that, but she decided to play it safe, not let anything get behind her with 2 outs. And Pete Diamore right away, this is something he does. He's going to pinch run right away and end a run for Virginia Tech is
Maya Lugo.
Yep.
So with 2 outs, pitch runner at first. Here top of the first, scoreless. Slaw slaps it foul into the screen, third base side.
Don, I don't know if it'll continue, but as you can see, the Virginia Tech hitters are aggressive. They are up there to swing the bat. It actually worked against them on the strikeout throwout because she took a hack at a ball that was in the dirt. But they are not up there to do anything but hit the ball.
Well, I think they kind of know that Cagle's going to be around the plate. Just misses off the outside corner there to even us at 1-1.
Oh, that's a good pitch right there. It might have missed the plate, but that's an awful good pitch. She's been having trouble getting the ball located on that side of the plate. The umpire might have been not able to give her the benefit of the doubt there.
Here's one that bounces about almost halfway between the circle and the plate. Lost the grip on that somewhere.
That's your basic 26-footer right there.
2-1. Lugo pitch running for Chavez at first with 2 outs. Here top of 1, scoreless. Chopper going to be a tough play. Second baseman in, gets it, flips it. First in time. So Pereira to Matamore ends the inning. Couple of base hits, but nothing on the board for Virginia Tech. They're top of 1. Back here in Clemson, South Carolina, as you take a look at Clemson head coach John Rittman. And you see the offensive lineup that he will put out there. Cagle, Gumbarda at 3 and 4. You better be careful with both of those players.
You better believe it. They do damage. They were very impressive early on in the season last year. And speaking of impressive, this leadoff hitter, this young freshman, Mackenzie Clark, the Clemson coaches are just ecstatic over her progress, and they're very high on her.
Good speed.
I mean, they've used the word dynamic, difference maker. I'm really, really excited about seeing her play.
So Keely Rochard will deliver her first pitch of the game and zips it in there for a strike. 0-1. A USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year watch list is Rochard. And we could go on and on about the accolades for the young lady in the circle here for Virginia Tech.
And I think you told me only a junior, right?
Yes.
So she's still got some way to go, but she is a very impressive young lady.
A preseason second-team All-American by one service, a first-team All-American by another. Swing and a miss there by Clark. She comes up empty. 1-2.
And you can see right now she throws it plenty firm.
Yes.
And you'll watch she can make the ball. She can throw it by you up in the zone.
Yeah, that one was elevated.
Yeah, she's not afraid to work up there.
And the 1-2 just missed outside.
Tell you what, that's an exceptional job of laying off of that pitch.
No doubt.
I'd have swung. That's a great pitch.
Oof. In fact, I'm not sure where that pitch was, to be honest with you.
If it missed the plate, it didn't by much, but it was great by Clark to lay off of it.
Here's the 2-2. This going to be popped back out of play. Daylight today, 39 degrees when we first pitched here. And like I said, it had rain come through here this morning. Been like most of the country. It has been wet and cold. Haven't had the ice or snow like it seems like 2/3 of the country have had here in Clemson, South Carolina. But a raw day. They go off speed and they will get Clark. Good pitch there.
That changeup froze her at the plate then. That was an education for the young hitter.
Defensively for Virginia Tech, they'll line up like this. Troll there in center. Fagan and Green up the middle. And Lauder behind the plate, kind of like what we were talking about for Clemson. Good gal to have there behind it, be receiving and playing some defense for you.
Yep.
First pitch to Matamore, missing low and in.
She plays catcher very confidently. She's very...
Yes.
Pitchers like quiet catchers. And when I say quiet, I don't mean vocally. I mean they're just very quiet behind the plate.
Yeah, just a good receiver. Can frame well. Maybe steal a pitch every now and then for you. 1-0. Cut on and missed.
You hadn't got to steal those.
No. Matamore this season just 1 for 5 so far Started both games for Clemson, but has scored 3 times. Look there at Grace Mattermore, first baseman for Clemson. The 1-1, high and away.
Mattermore is equipped with her game day paint under her eyes.
The artistic expression.
Yes.
Two-one from Richard. Off speed and in the air, center. Troll will settle underneath that. 2 away.
I think Mattermore's going to go back and feel pretty good about that at bat. Actually, she had her own time and put a swing on it, got under it a little bit. But here comes the matchup we've been looking to see.
And here's Cagle. So starting pitcher versus starting pitcher here. Cagle, big swing and comes up empty. 0-1. Valerie Cagle so far this season, 2 for 5 at the plate, 4 runs scored, has homered twice and has driven in 4. One good cut on.
Yeah, she was on her that time. Yep. She was on her that time. Be careful right here. Right here would be a great time to waste a pitch and then come back with that changeup, because Cagle is on her, or she may go with a change of pace right now, right out of the chute. But I'd love to see a setup pitch and then maybe go off speed.
Here comes the 0-2 from Rochard. Fastball missing in.
Just missed.
Yep. I see Lauder having to reach back across her body for that one.
Yep.
1-2. Fouled off down to play third base side.
Good battle here.
Because of COVID protocols that all of us are affected with here in the country, just a little over 300 allowed here in McWhorter Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina. But at least they get some folks.
Yes.
Again, the 1-2. Fastball missed low. Cagle has battled back after being down in the count 0-2. Run it even at 2-2.
But I got to tell you, Richard is around the plate.
Yes.
She is really around the plate.
Two. Ground ball, second. Green, easy flip to Slaw, and Clemson goes 1-2-3 here in the bottom half of the first. We've played an inning, 0-0. Back here at McWhorter Stadium here in Clemson, South Carolina. The McWhorter family, Stuart McWhorter family, gave $2.5 million to Clemson, South Carolina in naming rights here at the softball stadium. Signage actually within the last 24 hours actually went up here for this home opener for Clemson softball here in 2021. So all the folks here at Clemson, you can imagine, especially fundraisers, big smiles on their faces.
You better believe it, and it's so important to these athletes, and it's also a great example for these young athletes when you have someone like the McWhorter family giving back and showing the world that they're grateful for things that this university's done for them or what it's meant to them. And I know, like you said, everybody up here is very happy about it.
So here's Kelsey Bennett to lead it off. It'll be Bennett followed by Ritter and then Troll against Cagle, who allowed 2 hits but no damage in the first. Here's the first pitch to Bennett. Will miss away to the righty. 1-0. Bennett on the season, just $182 in 3 games and 3 starts. Has gone 2 for 11 at the plate. A run scored. Her only base hit a double. And there's a shot that is out towards the gap. Nice stop out there in center field by Clark to get that before he can split the outfielders, and will hold Bennett to a single.
That ball was hit sharply, and she did a great job of getting over there and smothering that thing and not allowing it to be a double.
That is already 3 hits now off of Cagle.
Well, as we've talked about earlier, Virginia Tech is going to swing the bat. They are not up there to walk.
Second inning in a row in the first two that we've played that Virginia Tech has gotten the lead off a board. Ritter steps in and takes a pitch low and in. 1-0. Ritter, the left fielder, as you can see, from Perryville, Maryland at 5'9". 1-0 from Cagle. Missing up and in, 2-0.
No, they got a late strike call.
Oh, they
on
call
that.
late strike. Excuse me, yeah. Excuse me, he caught me. Going to have to wait on Mr. Cooper.
Well, that's the first time she's gotten that call in that part of the plate.
Yep. Here's one that's fouled off to the backstop. That'll make it 1-2.
It's an interesting dynamic between the pitcher, the catcher, and the umpire. I mean, you know, there's the strike zone, and then there's the umpire's zone, and each person's a little different. I'm not saying good or bad or right or wrong. I'm just saying you have to work with one another out there. And
Ritter comes up empty, just kind of waves at the 1-2 pitch.
that was a bad swing.
Yep. Second strikeout for Cagle.
As a rule, if you've got to make that kind of swing to make contact with the ball, you let it pass.
So here is Troll stepping in, the center fielder. First pitch to the lefty, she'll cut on and chop it foul. Troll getting her second start and her third appearance of the season here for Virginia Tech.
Still looking for her first hit.
Yep, 0 for 4 so far at the plate. 0-1 to her, slapped out to the shortstop. To second for one, that will be it. And so get Bennett coming down the line from first. So the 6-4 force out, 2 away. Troll at first for Green.
And that was a great job by the Clemson second baseman, Priya, just hold the ball. You know, her instinct was to try to turn two, but she saw that base runner was going to beat the throw, and so there was no use of, you know, wasting a throw or potentially throwing a ball away or something. Great job there.
Here's Addie Green stepping in, left-handed hitter. Pitch will miss low to her. 1-0. Green on the season, 250 average. Already a couple of RBIs, a home run. So it does have some pop from that left-handed side of the plate. 2 outs, runner at first here for Virginia Tech, top of 2. And that ball slapped right back. Cagle feels her position well. Easy throw over to first to take care of Green, and the side is retired. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left. 0-0 as we go to the bottom of the second. We'll head out to the bottom of the second here in Clemson. 0-0 ball game, as you can take a look. Last year, of course, being the first year of Clemson softball, and John Rittman did a pretty good job going 19-8, particularly, man, when it was called off, they were as hot as any team in the country.
Yeah, they were in the middle of winning 11 out of 12. I was here on the final game against Presbyterian, midweek game, and they were really rolling, and then they, you know, the virus just said, you know, that's it.
So Gumbarda, Stewart, Pereira due up. Here's Gumbarda. Gumbarda also a lot of power from that right-handed side of the plate.
She surely can turn on it.
And the first pitch, inside corner, a strike.
She took a little bit off that one. Gumbarda from Swanee, Georgia, and they're in Gwinnett County.
Bouchard's 0-1, fouled straight back. Gumbarda batting .500 on the season. 3 RBIs, does have a home run.
You're hitting .500, and you're leading the team in home runs. It's time to go in and talk about a pay raise.
2 will miss high. 1-2. How about Tatis? How about the new contract that he got from the Padres.
Yeah.
$340 million. Yeah. I got to find a different line of work.
Oh man, that's to me that's monopoly money. I mean, I couldn't fathom that kind of money.
The 1-2 missing outside, 2-2. Oh yes, you could. Come on,
I would love to try it.
You know you played the lottery when it was up and over a billion. You know that you went out and bought a ticket at least.
No, I'm holding out till to get real money. I'm gonna play it when it gets up there really good.
Two. Off speed, that is hit well down the left field line, but hooking foul.
Had the distance.
Yes, it did.
That was a little bit off speed, and that's something that I would think that Richard would put in the back of her mind. We might not want to slow the ball down with Gombardi because she can turn on you.
So 2-2. Do Gombardi. Here it is. Going in. It's the first time today that Richard has gone full on the count at 3-2. That one was just low.
Yeah, it was just low, but the right part of town to miss, though.
Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Took something off. Second strikeout for Richard in the game, and one away for Clemson here, bottom of 2.
You know, everybody says they were going to win that lottery. You know, it wouldn't change them a bit. If I had that kind of money, it's going to change me.
Abby Stewart steps in. Takes a pitch low, 1-0. Stewart, DH. 200 so far through 2 games. She's gone 1 for 5 at the plate. Has been in the starting lineup, though, now for all 3 games for Clemson. 1-0 pitch. That one's hit well in the air. And it looks like the center fielder Troll has a beat on it, and does.
When it left the bat, it looked like it had a chance, but this cool air, the ball's not going to carry like it would on a warm day.
And the wind is blowing out a little bit here at McWhorter Stadium. So at 2 outs, nobody on. Here's Pereira. As Richard has set down the first 5 that she has faced. Pereira showing bunt, takes a pitch for a strike. Pereira at 333. She's gone 2 for 6. A run scored on an RBI. Cut on and fouls it back. She finds herself in the hole now, 0-2. Richard, 0-2. On the way. Swing and a miss, elevated the fastball and got Pereira to chase it. And Clemson has sent 6 to the plate. 6 of them have gone back home. 0-0, we go to the 3rd. Mackenzie Lauder will lead off the top of the 3rd. 9-1-2 due up for Virginia Tech against Valerie Cagle, who's surrendered 3 hits so far, but no damage in a 0-0 game. As Lauder, the catcher, takes a pitch low and in. Ball 1. That's the thing that's been Cagle so far, now through 9 batters, has not been pitching ahead in the count to many.
And Virginia Tech has been putting the bat on the ball, and if they're going to stay in the game, they being the Tigers, Cagle's going to have to get ahead in the count.
Lauder waves and misses at that pitch to even us up at 1-1. Lauder, 4 games, 4 starts, but looking for her first base hit. As that one will miss inside, and they'll make it 2-1 on the year. Lauder has walked 5 times already, though, through 3 games. Two-1, missing in, 3-1, and maybe that's why. Virginia Tech has had the leadoff batter aboard in each of the first two.
They sure have. That usually spells trouble, but they have been able to work out of it.
She swings at the 3-1 though and fouls it off. 3-2. Cagle was helped out in the top of the first. We have a base running error by Fagan that turned into a strikeout, throw him out situation. And in the second, leadoff hitter Bennett got aboard, but then a strikeout, a fielder's choice, and a grounder back to the pitcher took care of Virginia Tech in the top half of the second. Here a payoff pitch to start the third, and in the air, a shallow right. Bardo will make a play on that. One away.
Good job of getting back and in the at bat and retiring the hitter that time by Cagle, because
and she was behind in the count, 3-1.
yeah,
Came back through strikes.
yeah, they flipped the lineup. Now we're back at the top.
And Fagan had that infield single her first time up. Remember that chopper on the third baseline.
She's up hitting 500 on the season now.
Takes a first pitch low.
She's 6 for 12 in this early part of the year.
One-0, off speed, rolled to second. Little flip to first will get Fagan by just a step. She shows off her speed down the path right there.
She really motors, and Pereira did a great job of being aware of the base runner and her speed, and didn't waste any time getting that ball over to the first baseman, Matamore, and now there's 2 down.
Power in that ponytail right there for Pereira. So 2 away for Bailey. First pitch will miss inside.
That part of the plate has not been provided to the pitchers in this game, both ways.
Bailey, you can see a strikeout victim, her first at bat.
Yeah.
There's a ground ball foul, third base side.
She was the one that caused all that trouble in the base running that time. She swung at the ball that was low in the dirt and confused the runner at first, and Fagan was thrown out at second base.
And sometimes you just got to learn to read the umpire. And early on in the season, more difficult than in later, because even as players, they learn to read umpire. Okay, what are their mannerisms?
Yep.
What do they do? How do they react to certain things? It's a pitch that is in the dirt and bounces up there low. 2-1 to Bailey.
That one was her 35-footer. We've seen the 22-footer. That's the 35-footer, and then, of course, most of them are the 43-footers.
Two-1 to Bailey. Missing inside, 3-1. This one, that one's pretty close, but I like the call. I think that's inside.
It tailed away at the end.
2 outs, nobody on, 0-0 our score here, top of 3. Cagle a 3-1 on the way to Bailey. Sharply past the third baseman towards the corner. That'll be extra bases. Bailey on her way to second will stop there with a 2-out double.
And that was a little bit of a triple pitch, 3-1, and it got a lot of the plate, and she really turned on it. That thing was hit like a rocket. No chance at all for the third baseman, Bigham, to make a play on that ball. And by the time the left fielder was able to scoot over there and get it, Miss Oda, the runner's out there on second base.
Second double of the season here early on for Bailey, and here is Chavez. Singled. Her first time up.
With 2 outs and a base open, you can be real careful with her.
And if they pitch to her and a fly ball to Gombarda and right, that'll be Easy pickings there.
Yeah.
The side once again is retired. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left. 0-0. We go to the bottom of 3. Keely Richard has sat down all 6 batters that she has faced so far. She'll face the bottom third of the order, 7, 8, 9. Ansley Gilstrap, JoJo Hyatt, Casey Bigham. Due up for Clemson here in the bottom of the 3rd. Scoreless, Don Munson along with excuse me, Scott Whitlock along with you.
Didn't mean to choke you up.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
As Gilstrap sets in here, I think it's just a huge victory and a celebration that she's playing the game. She overcame a very serious illness in 2020. So she's got to be thrilled to be out here. She got nicked by a pitch too, so got her on the leg, so the Tigers had the leadoff runner on. But Gilstrap had an outstanding career at USC Upstate, transferred in here for her final year. So it's a little, just breezed her a little bit on that leg right there. Whoops. Don't look like it damaged the fabric.
If you're going to get hit, that's the way to get hit.
You better believe it. The drive-by. You don't want one that stops.
That's the first base runner for Clemson to lead off here at the bottom of the 3rd. JoJo Hyatt, the catcher, steps in. Short to miss high to Hyatt.
1-0. Gilstrap can run a little bit. And when you're struggling to make contact, you're struggling to put runners on base, you got to take advantage of it. You might see Coach Rippon be a little aggressive.
Hyatt still looking for her first official at-bat here in 2021. Pitch it'll miss low. 2-0.
Does a fine job behind the plate. Looking down there long and hard, seeing what they want to do. 2-0 count. Right now, this is a hitter's count right here if you wanted to play hit and run or if you wanted to bunt and run.
2-0 from Richard, missing low and in.
Wow.
All of a sudden, the plate dancing around a little bit on Keely Richard.
Isn't it odd that once a base runner gets on base, the mentality of a pitcher shifts?
I think it's even more so when they hit somebody than when it's a base hit, because all of a sudden they think, okay, I know I need to pitch inside, but now you're a little bit, can I really get in there and throw it in there?
Right.
3-0. Pumped in for a strike, 3-1. Even with somebody like Richard, I mean, this is an all-American player we're talking about.
You better believe it. This would be a great time for the Tigers to run.
You're going to ask Hyatt to tuck in the towel.
Got to tuck your towel, lady.
Yeah, it was hanging out off of the belt. Your home plate umpire, Jim Cooper, chatting it up there with JoJo Hyatt. .3-1 due, and here it is. Slap foul. They were hitting and running, yep.
If you saw Hyatt, she was deliberately trying to hit the ball opposite field there, which she's supposed to do.
So a 3-2 pitch now due Hyatt. Gilstrap at first. See if they move here. On the 3-2 with nobody out. They are, and there's one slapped into right field for a base hit. On the way to third, and the throw will not be in time. So you get the hit batter and then the first base hit by Hyatt, her first official at-bat of the year. She delivers with a solid stroke to right. Runners in the corners, nobody out.
Great job of playing aggressively that time. They did have the runner in motion, and Hyatt was able to hit behind her, and just like that, after showing no signs of life offensively in the first 2 innings, the Tigers suddenly have runners on first and third and nobody out.
I think we'll see a pitch runner here, and we will. So Jada Cheek will come in and pitch run for Hyatt. take a look at
Cheeks
Miss Cheek. Yeah.
out of Carnesville, Georgia, in Franklin County High School, just over the state line.
Great Dairy Queen. Right outside of Carnesville.
Boy, that is like a must. Oh, man.
Let me tell you, on my way between here and when I'm headed down to Athens, maybe to call a baseball game,
yep,
that's always a must stop.
Highway 106.
Amen. See? Gotcha. First pitch to Bigham, missing in. 1-0. So Clemson threatening here. Bottom of the third in a scoreless game with runners in the corners and nobody out. A hit batter and a solid single to right. Pitch. That one's going to be lined into center field for a base hit. Clemson will grab the 1-0 lead. Renno will try to move from first to third. Does so. And then behind the throw to third, all the way to second, goes Bigham. And Clemson a 1-0 lead.
And a great job of base running by Bigham, the transfer from Furman. She never really hesitated. And she read that throw, and she got herself in there easily at second base. And the Tigers have got something going.
And it goes as a single, and she'll just move up to second on the throw to third. But 1-0 as Clemson has put something together here in the bottom of the third. Back-to-back singles after the hit batter.
And you got a lot of things you can do here with Clark. As I told you earlier, the coaches think a lot of her. She's fast. She can handle the bat, so you never know what may happen.
First pitch to Clark. She's hacking and fouling it straight back.
She's cranking it right there.
Strikeout victim, as you can see, Clark in her first at-bat. One of 3 so far that Rochard has had in the game, but she's run into trouble here in the third. 1-0 Clemson. Runners at second and third, nobody out. Off-speed pitch missing. Nope, called a strike. I thought he was going to miss high, but called it a strike. A little delay called there by Brother Cooper behind home.
It kind of keeps us guessing every once in a while. He's been very consistent.
Yes, he has. The pitch, missing low. And the board's showing 2-1. I thought it.
Not sure.
1-2.
1-2.
Yeah, they got it backwards on the board. Always believe your book. 1-2. The 1-2 pitch missing high. 2-2.
Sure, it's 2-2. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, the board goes to 3-1, but Mr. Cooper says, "No, you have it wrong, gentlemen. It needs to go to 3."
Now we got it right.
Yeah, we got it right. Home opener for everybody.
Everybody.
Rochard in the 1 and the 2-2. Lifted into shallow right. On comes the right fielder. Diving grab by Bailey. What a play by Bailey coming in to hold the runners at second and third.
She made a fine play. The base runner at third strayed down the line and was not tagging up. That may have helped out the Hokies a little bit. I don't know, but she probably may have had time to get up and make a throw to the plate. I don't know. But as a base runner at third base, generally on a ball that's elevated, you want to be on the bag tagging.
So here's Mattimore. Runners still at second and third, now 1 out. A run in for Clemson here in the bottom of the third, 1-0. That pitch just missed Mattimore inside for a ball. 1-0. Mattimore fly to center. Her first time out. And they play her a little bit to pull. It's a center fielder troll.
Yeah.
About 3 steps towards left.
She had a good swing in her first at bat. She just got under it a little bit.
1-0 pitch, going to bunt. Bunts it in the air, though, and that'll be caught in foul territory by the catcher, scrambling back to the bag. It'll be Cheek. 2 away. So that's one of those. That's a lack of execution. That'll get John Rittman right there.
Yeah, and that right there was a squeeze play. And they're fortunate that she bunted the ball foul so high.
Yes.
Because it gave the base runner time to scamper back.
So here's Cagle, a chance to help herself with 2 outs. And she lines one, hits sharply. The shortstop knocked down, up and throwing. And the first baseman can't dig it out. 1 run scores, 2 runs will score.
Great job of base running by the trail runner there.
So Cheek and Bigham, who had great base running when she had the single to take the extra base behind the throw over to third, she scores all the way from second. It handcuffed Fagan at short. As we take a look, you see easily there Cheek scoring. There's a play at first there with the first baseman. Slaw just couldn't dig it out. Good wide look here. You can see just all the motion going on there, Scott.
Yep, and the base runner, Bigham, just showed why she's a veteran. She just never quit running.
That'll be an E6. 3-0 here, Clemson. And here's a high fly ball. Will the park hold this one? It will not. Gombarda, a 2-run shot to make it 5-0 Clemson.
And she turned on that one. Did a great job seeing it and drove it right out of here. And just like that, after 2 innings of showing no offensive life here in the third, Clemson has jumped all over Bouchard and Virginia Tech.
The second home run of the season for Gombarda, RBI 4 and 5 on the season, and Clemson leads it 5-0.
It is so funny how this game changes so fast.
So 4 of these 5 runs unearned.
Yeah, but they count.
They do. Yep. Here's Stewart stepping in. It's a first pitch for a ball. So she becomes the 8th batter to come to the plate here for Clemson in the bottom of the third. Off speed, swing and a miss. Good pitch there.
Sure was.
And don't count this Virginia Tech bunch out now. They can score in bunches too.
They can really swing it.
One. Lifted foul, and the catcher, Lauder, able to make the play behind the plate. So Clemson sends 8 to the plate, 5 of them touch home. 5-0 Clemson, we go to the 4th. 5-0 Clemson, leading Virginia Tech. We'll go to the top of the 4th here in Clemson, South Carolina. As you take a look at the Virginia Tech summary from last year, look where they were. 21-4, 3-0 already in the ACC. Clemson won 11 of their last 12. Virginia Tech won 16 of their last 17. Rochard, who's on the inside the circle here today, a first-team All-American. They finished 18th in the country. So Coach DeMore, a fine job last season, and here in 2021, they are among the favorites inside the Atlantic Coast Conference. Take a look now. Valerie Cagle staked now to a 5-0 lead.
And that is a different part of town that she's been living in. That is such a big luxury for a pitcher to know that every pitch is not on a tightrope.
Cagle will face Chavez here Slaw. Two 2-0 delivery. Rope foul down the first base line. 1-1.
Yeah, Slaw is off to a little bit of a slow start at the plate.
Grounded out to second her first time up. Cagle 1-1, chopper to second, backing the second baseman. Nice field, low throw though, and throws it low. That'll be an E4 for Pereira.
she rushed a throw that she didn't really need to there. She did a good job of getting the hop, had the ball fielded cleanly, and just threw it in the dirt. Now that's the last thing you want. John Rittman's in there shaking his head going, man, we just gave you 5 runs. Don't do that to me.
Exactly right.
Got a pinch runner coming in there, number 27, Ludwig.
Yep. Bennett will step to the plate. Bennett singled her last time up, her only time at bat. That lit off the second. So now for the 3rd time in 4 innings, Virginia Tech, leadoff man aboard. Pitch, inside corner, a called strike.
Yeah, you don't want that leadoff runner on. I mean, that's one thing, whether it be baseball, softball, or anything, the leadoff runner on is you see a great pitch there.
So the ball is chopped foul.
That's way ahead in the count. Cagle.
So 0-2 here on Bennett. Ludwig at first, the pitch runner for Slaw. Pitch going to miss high and goes off the glove of Hyatt to the screen. That will allow the runner to advance.
0-2 pitch.
Yeah.
Usually when you see an 0-2 wild pitch, it's something in the ground. That time they tried to work her up, and it just got by JoJo Hyatt.
So runner in scoring position for Virginia Tech. There's another pitch missing high. 2-2. Coach DeMoore, you're looking, hey, bounce back run here would be awfully nice.
Oh, yeah, and after you score 5, if you're John Rittman, you want a shutdown inning.
Yep.
And right now, the
2-2 chop foul.
Tigers have either thrown or pitched the runner out to second base. Name of the game here, though, is get an out right now. Just get an out and don't give the inning any type of momentum. Good look there of Valerie Cagle out of Virginia, I believe. Great state of Commonwealth, excuse me.
The 2-2, chop right back to Cagle. She'll look the runner back at second, throw to first. Boy, you got a pitcher that can field their position. It changes everything for you defensively. 1 away.
Did everything right there. Fielded the ball and then just glared at the base runner to freeze them. We're going to have a pitch hitter now as number 11, Kana Davis, is stepping in.
Kana Davis grab a bat.
At 2:22 early on.
She actually drove in Virginia Tech's first run of the season against Kennesaw State, a double. And the first pitch here is fouled off out of play, first base side. 0-1. 5-0 Clemson. Runner at second for Virginia Tech. 1 out in the top of the 4th. Harrisonburg, Virginia. James Madison territory.
Yeah.
1 fastball strike.
Right through there.
That had some giddy up to it right there.
Yes, it did. That was nice and firm.
So 0-2. Kana Davis. Off speed that bounced out front of the plate. 1-2.
I love the way that Valerie Cagle wants and loves to work fast. She's out there. As soon as she's getting the ball back to her glove, she's almost ready to go.
Chopper back to Cagle, third base side of the circle. Go over to first. The runner will move to third. And will stand there with 2 outs for Troll.
And I don't want to beat this point to death, but what a luxury of having a pitcher that can get out and fill her position, because this was not an easy play. That ball, it takes a big hop. It's taking her toward third base. She took the quick look and knew she couldn't get her and just went ahead and got what she could get, which was out too.
Threw a strike to first. One that is slapped foul to the netting third base side off the bat of Troll. 0-1.
And all of a sudden, she's pitching ahead in counts.
Yes.
It's amazing what 5 runs will do for you.
You and I were fortunate enough to do the Clemson-Georgia game here last year that Cagle won.
Oh, man.
In the upset over the 14th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. And she kind of did the same thing at that game. First couple innings were, but then she settled in and was very strong, finishing up the 4-1 victory.
This ballpark was loud that night.
Oh, yes.
Great atmosphere.
1-1 now to Troll. Fielder's choice, her first time up. That was in the second. Runner at third, 2 outs. Here in the top of the fourth. 5-0 Clemson. Here's one that's shot up the middle for a base hit. That will plate the runner from third as Littlewig will score. And Troll delivers with a 2-out RBI. And there's a bounce-back run for Virginia Tech.
Troll did a great job of just driving that ball right back up the middle. There was nothing anybody could do about that one. And as we said earlier, the run is unearned, but it counts. And just like that is 5-1.
The 5th hit from Virginia Tech so far off of Cagle. There's a high fly ball, deep center, but backing is Clark. She's got a beat on it on the track, makes the grab to retire the side. Virginia Tech pushes across a run. It's an unearned run. 5-1 Clemson will go to the bottom of the fourth. Clemson will go to the bottom of the fourth. Here's how Clemson got here. It started with just a simple hit batter. I mean, that's where it started, and then the floodgates opened up a little bit.
Yep. Hit batter, hit and run, base hit, throw in there, and then a big fly.
Can't defend the ball that leaves the ballpark. That's indefensible right there. Gumbarda's second home run of the season. That made it 5-0 in favor of Clemson. Virginia Tech, a bounce-back run of the top half here of the fourth to make it 5-1. Due up for Clemson, there'll be Pereira, Gilstrap, and Hyatt.
The All-American Richard has pitched pretty well. Of course, the home run was a big mistake, but that inning was prolonged by errors. She's given up only the 1 earned run, but she finds herself in a big hole, and this inning's all about shutdown. She cannot afford to give up anything else now to this Clemson ball club.
And there you take a look at Richard as Pereira steps in, a strikeout victim that ended the second. Takes a first pitch strike to start the bottom of the fourth.
There's a look at the Clemson head coach, John Rittman.
One to Pereira off speed for a strike.
Yep. She's got a good changeup. I mean, that's a very nice pitch. It's like, oh my goodness.
Oh-2 delivery. Ground ball wide at first and through the hole for a base hit. So an 0-2 base knock by Pereira to start the bottom of the fourth.
And I'll tell you, as a pitcher and as a coach, 0-2 singles just break your heart. And right there, as you can see, that Pereira just turns on it and just kind of soft serves it through the hole there out in right field. And now Gilstrap's back up.
Hit by a pitch that started the scoring for Clemson in the third when they scored their 5 runs. So back-to-back innings now that Clemson has the leadoff runner aboard. Richard first pitch, and a fly ball down the left field line. Left fielder in foul territory. Diving grab by Ritter, tagging at first and moving to second, and the throw-in gets away. And moving over to third and sliding in safely there will be Pereira. Heads up base running by Pereira.
Great job of base coaching, too, by the first base coach for the Tigers, of having her back and on the bag and tagging. And right now the Hokies are having trouble playing the game of throw and catch, and that's it's just giving the Tigers extra bases.
That'll be an E7. It'll allow the runner to advance from second to third, the second error of the game against Virginia Tech. And here is Hyatt stepping in. And the first pitch to Hyatt rolled slowly foul, third base side. Hyatt singled and later scored in the third.
And you know she's thinking about, well, wouldn't it be great to help get the run back? But you can play a lot different and a lot more freely when you're up 4 runs.
Well, one delivery. Fastball away. You take a look at Pereira leading from third. One from Rochard off speed.
Yep.
Fouled off. Good pitch in and on the hands.
Yeah, now if you're Richard right here, you don't want to mess around. You want to put the hammer to it on this pitch right here and you get that big second out without the ball being put in play.
Hyatt, you shorten the stroke a little bit, just try to make contact.
Oh yeah, put the ball in play. That's what she wants to do. Infield's in.
1-2, check swing, got her.
Good job of pitching that time. She just went right at her.
That's a 4th strikeout in the game for Richard.
That was a rise ball.
So 2 outs, runner at third for Bigham. RBI single in the third and scored. Swings at the first pitch, comes up empty. Here's ball, it's Luke, first base side and in for a base hit. Scoring is Pereira to make it 6-1 in favor of Clemson. As Bigham 2 for 2 with a couple of RBIs in this ball game.
She is having herself a day. The 5th-year transfer from Furman has come in over here and has just played a major role in this ball game today.
So the error does come back to haunt Virginia Tech. Another unearned run scores. 6-1 Clemson. Runner at first, 2 outs. Back to the top of the order for Clark, 0 for 2. And here's a steal attempt, throw down, bounces by the second baseman in the center field, but backed up by Troll. So Bigham will get a stolen base.
She's having a day. I was talking to John Rittman about her last night, and she came in. As you see the steal there, she came in as a 5th-year transfer and really didn't have a starting position until an injury is forced her to step in and be the starting third baseman for the ball club, and she's really doing a fine job. And today has just been spectacular offensively.
So John Rittman having a chat with his freshman center fielder Mackenzie Clark. They got the run back that they gave up in the top half of the 4th. Reestablish a 5-run lead here at 6-1. Defensively, they'll pinch at the corners, will Virginia Tech. And there's ball up the middle. It's going to dribble through. Base hit. They're going to wave the runner. Here comes the throw up the third baseline, but in time. Troll able to come and gun down the runner at home.
That was a good job of aggressive base running, but a better job by Troll coming in and made a perfect throw to the plate. And Lauder was able to tag out Bigham very easily.
Take a look at the Virginia Tech catcher, Lauder. Great play to end the bottom of the fourth. We'll go back and take a look. I mean, I think everybody does, both teams do exactly what they should do here.
Right.
Send the runner. Agree with that.
Absolutely. And Tull makes a good enough throw where it was easily out at home plate. But you got to completely agree with John Ripman's decision to send her. The Tigers now up 5, with 9 outs to get.
9-1-2 due up. As Kelsey Brown will come on and will pitch it here for Lauder. Brown 167 on the season. Here's a chopper back to the circle. Easy play by Cagle. Again, she just picked it and ripped it over to first.
She's a tall athlete. She's a confident athlete. And all of that helps right here. See, she goes up, gets the ball, and then makes a firm throw. There's so many pitchers in the game of softball that having to make that hurried throw would just totally freak them out.
That's the 4th play that she has made.
Wow.
4th 1-3 that I've put in my book. Off speed to the top of the order, Fagan missing outside. Cameron Fagan, infield single and a ground ball to second, 1 for 2. Miss low and outside to the lefty. 2-0. And the last thing, if you're Cagle, that you want to do, particularly after getting the first out here in the top of the 5th, is to walk somebody. 2-0. Swing on and miss.
I tell you, partner, I've died 1,000,000 deaths on leadoff walks.
Trying to come up and slap it.
Yeah,
there was Fagan, just couldn't get barreled to the ball.
When you're ahead in the game and you're in the latter part of the game, you just want to pump strikes in there.
2-1, chopper back to Cagle. Make it 5 1-3s in the book.
I tell you, she and the hitters are playing pepper out there today. Good work if you can get it.
2 up, 2 down for Virginia Tech. We're in the top of the 5th. And here's Bailey. Bailey has struck out and has doubled. Doubled in the 3rd and got stranded at second with 2 outs in the 3rd. First pitch to her off speed that misses inside.
Did a great job of driving that ball in her last at bat.
(1-0) again. Took something off. Had Bailey out in front.
Right there's a little bit of a string puller. Oof. As a hitter, you just feel so bad after that swing's finished.
(1-1) in the air towards right, but right at Gombarda. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Virginia Tech in the top of the 5th. 6-1 in favor of Clemson. Well, you took a look at young freshman making her first appearance in a Virginia Tech uniform. Kaylee Hewitt from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Is Richard's day, for right now at least, done, and Hewitt threw her first career no-hitter, actually, against North Carolina A&T back on the 22nd. She was the 2020 Rookie of the Year, so making her first appearance here for 2021.
Oh, so she's a second-year freshman.
Second-year freshman, yeah. You threw me off.
That was my fault.
I took bad information from you without going to the notes.
That was my fault.
Do not believe your wingman. Can't believe my wingman, Scott Whitlock, left me.
Oh,
Just
well,
left me.
I hung you out to dry is what I did.
Yes, you did.
It's horrible.
Oh, what count. So you win a national championship too, or something, you know.
Yeah.
This is what you do, right?
Yeah, well, you know, you always got to remember the little people because they're going to be the same people you step on the way back down.
And that's me. I'm much littler than you.
You're right here.
Look at the strike called there. One, missing high. They had 8 strikeouts. Game against Campbell. Did allow 3 runs and 6 innings of work.
You know, the one thing that the pace of a softball game doesn't allow you to do is talk about a lot of things you'd like to talk about, and it is a real unique time in college athletics with as we wait for the pitch here, strike call on the inside. The fact that we do have second-year freshmen, you know, the athletes were not charged with a year competition from a year ago. So, and it's created a lot of decisions that are having to be made in recruiting and whatnot.
2-2 in the air to right. Bailey under it has it. 1 away. So we've got Hewitt on the mound. Let's go back and just chat a little bit about Keely Rochard, because I know the things that did not go her way here today, but truly one of the best. I mean, 183 strikeouts, 15 wins. Are you kidding me?
And that was only in just a little bit of a season last year.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Halfway through.
Yeah.
First pitch to Cagle, a ball.
He's down there visiting with her pitching coach, Doug Gillis, right now. Doug gave me $50 before the game to mention his name.
And she led, as you can see, that graphic was put up, led the NCAA in all the categories that you want a pitcher to do.
Well, he's
the pitching coach now, right there, a story in and of his own right.
Yes, he is. He's a former U.S. men's national team thrower, very highly respected pitching coach.
1-1, missing high.
As I get back to Gillis, few years back, suffered a stroke and literally had to relearn to talk, and it's just great to see him in a dugout. He's a character of the game, known him a long time.
2-1. This is outside 3-1. Yeah, worked with Coach Diamore at Kennesaw State.
Yeah, they were both there after I did my time. Got a chance to get to know him very well.
Make it sound like you were in prison. What do you mean after I did my time? 3-1, missing outside.
Well, you know, most days it didn't, but there were some days that it felt like jail. But I just being put in my years. I had the pleasure of being a head coach down there for 27 years before I was kicked up to administration.
Nah, don't undersell yourself now. You did more than okay.
Yeah. Oh, I can't complain. It was a lot of fun.
Get a pitch runner.
But I guarantee you that 72 is going to go back in the game.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Carlos Shannon will come on and pitch run for Cagle. Here's a look at Shannon.
Yep.
You know, like the sliding glove.
Oh, gosh. Don't get me started on that stuff.
See, I knew I could push just the right button.
You knew what to do. You're still getting even with me for not giving the right information on the pitcher.
That's exactly right. First pitch to Gombarda, missing inside. Well, won a 2-run homer for Gombarda her last time up. She's 1 for 2.
Quick with the jab.
Shannon moving on the pitch, throw down, little wide, and skips out to center field.
Oh, and the
then
ball got by.
all the way, and the right fielder going to have to pick it up and get it in. They're going to wave the runner all the way home, and she will score. Shannon, what looked like was just going to be simplicity after the ball got by second base, turned into anything but.
Boy, that clank you just heard was the wheels falling off the defense. Is the base runner, the pinch runner just in the game, you see, she gets a stolen base. The ball gets by the second baseman, then gets by the center fielder. In my opinion, that's a 2-error play, but I don't know if you can assign that under the rules of scoring, but there were 2 errors, 2 big mistakes made on that play. But I guess the only person that would really get an error would be the center fielder, because the stolen base would be assumed. And I suppose that the ball through the legs of the center fielder let the runner go to third and home.
So Gombarda draws a walk on 4 straight pitches from Hewitt. 7-1 Clemson.
You know that center fielder Troll is just feeling miserable out there right now. And I can tell you from experience, there's nothing worse than having a day when the temperature's in the 30s and your team's behind and you make an error and you've got time to think about it standing out there in the outfield. Oh, man.
An E8.
Yep.
Yeah, we could get another pitch runner here. We
Not
did.
sure.
Yeah, I think we did.
Trying to get the number.
Logaleo, right? Yeah.
Yep, that's Logaleo, yep. And she's got her oven mitt on, too. So.
Hamburger helper, man. I'm just telling you.
And I tell you, just think about it. Some equipment company decided, you know what? I tell you what we're going to sell them. We're going to take an oven mitt and rearrange it a little bit, call it a base running glove, and make $1 million. And they did it.
You're just upset because you
I
didn't
didn't
come up
think
with
of
the
it.
idea.
Yeah.
There we go. Now the truth comes out. And the first pitch, chopped to third. Only play will be across the diamond over to first. So Bennett to Slaw to take care of Stewart. 5-3 for the second out. On the play, though, Logaleo moves to second. Stand there for Pereira.
Second baseman, number 12, Andy Pereira.
Pereira singled, scored a run. Was back in the fourth. Takes the first pitch high, ball 1. And at that time made it 6-1 in favor of Clemson. Now 7-1 with another run here in the fifth. It all started for Clemson in the third. They exploded for 5. And here's a high fly ball, center field. Is that going to be deep enough? And it's off the wall. Scoring the Logaleo, and stopping at second is Pereira with an RBI double. That didn't miss getting out of here by much.
That hit the top of the fence, didn't it? That ball was driven into a cold air.
Take a look at it from the center field camera. We'll hear from the camera behind the plate. Just right off the top of the wall.
Right on the top of the tiger paw.
Yep. Here's Gilstrap taking a pitch high from Hewitt. Called strike.
It is so hard as a pitcher to keep your concentration right now, and you got to refocus, get back in your tunnel, and make it one at bat at a time.
One offering. Missing high. Two-one from Hewitt. Make it 3-1.
Gilstrap scored the first run of the day. We told you a little bit about her story. Overcoming a serious medical situation a year ago to be back out here on the field.
3-1 chop foul, third base side.
And if I remember the story correctly, it was her dream as a kid to play for Clemson. But when she came out of high school, Clemson did not have softball yet.
Right.
And so it's got to be a big thrill for her and everybody in her family that she's getting a chance, though be it for one season, she's getting a chance to actually put on the orange and purple and go out there and play.
Payoff pitch to Gilstrap. Misses low and in. And then Gilstrap got tripped up. I don't know if she tripped over her own bat or got tripped up by the catcher coming out. One of the two.
I don't know, but she'll hear about it when she gets back in the dugout. Because
that'll make the blooper reel.
Oh, boy. I think she tripped over her bat.
It's a second walk given up here in the inning.
See, if she'd really been thinking, she would have stayed on the ground and rolled over, holding her leg, then gotten up and been a hero. But she didn't do that. She got right back up and ran down to first base, and now her teammates are going to wear her out for a week about that.
And the first pitch to Hyatt is a called strike.
Strike well up in the zone that time.
Hyatt singled and scored in the third and then struck out in the fourth.
And did a really nice job early on in this game being patient with Cagle till she settled down.
There's a pitch missing high. Nice reach there by Lauder behind home plate to keep that one from going to the backstop. Runners first and second. 2 outs, a run in, or actually, 2 runs in for Clemson here in the bottom of the fifth. Leading it 8-1 over Virginia Tech. Pitch off speed, fouled into the bullpen area down the right field line. 1-2.
Yeah, you see the new McWhorter Stadium logo right there behind the hitter. Already talked about that earlier. That family did a wonderful thing for this university and this softball program.
1-2, ground ball third. Easy play and a throw across from Bennett to Slaw. But Clemson comes up with 2 more runs to now lead it 8-1 as we head to the 6th. (8-1) Clemson. So we go to the top of the 6th there in Clemson, South Carolina. Don Munson along with Scott Whitlock here with you at McWhorter Stadium as we preseason All-ACC softball team. You can see that here at this game and in this series, they'll play a doubleheader here tomorrow. 6 players on the All-ACC team.
Yeah, that's a lot of talent out there. Of course, Goodwin, Gombarda, and Cagle. Then over there in the Virginia Tech dugout, Bailey, Bennett, Rochard.
We'll get a pitch hitter here. Virginia Tech as Maddie Roundtree will grab a bat.
Roundtree has no official at-bats on the year.
Right-handed bat, though. Takes first pitch low and in.
Now, if you're Cagle, you just want to pump those arms and pour strikes in. You're 6 outs away from a win in the conference against a top 20 team, top 15 team. You want to pump your arms and pour them in there.
2-0.
every win in the conference is a big win. There's no such thing as a small conference win, and I know that Coach Rittman and his staff will be tickled to death if they can hold on here today.
Here's one that is lifted into left field, and that will drop for a base hit. So Roundtree comes on, delivers a pitch hit single to start the 6th.
And that ball kind of floated out there, because when it left the bat, I thought it was going to be in the gap for sure. Great job by the left fielder of scurrying over there and getting it back in.
And the pitch to Slaw on the outside corner for a strike. 0-1. Slaw reached on an error, then had a pitch runner come on, and that was Ludwig who scored. Here just flicks the bat, fouls it to the back screen.
And on an 0-1 pitch, I just don't, I mean, if you've got to extend yourself and swing like that, why do you even offer? I mean, with 2 strikes, I understand, but if you get fooled that early in the count, I just don't understand why you want to waste a swing, or just, I mean, you never get a base hit with a swing like that.
0-2 pitch, slapped out to the shortstop. Funny hop, but nice play. They'll try to turn 2, can't. That was actually a really nice play by Gilstrap.
Yes,
funny hop, came up and handcuffed her, but able to get it to Pereira at second.
Well, she was of all conference caliber when she was at USC Upstate. Gilstrap did just a great job there, staying with it.
So runner at first, 1 out now for Bennett. Cagle's first pitch to Bennett, lined out towards left, but that's easy pickings for Oda.
How many times have you called a ball game where the left fielder is being DH'd by the pitcher?
not very often, and actually, that's it's not Oda that is out there in left field. Now they switched up on me. Hang on 1 second.
They didn't
swing and a miss.
They didn't announce the change, but I believe.
Yeah, this is Ritter. Bat. 2 away, runner at first. Chop foul. 0-2. Two pitch, missing away, 1-2.
It was out of the zone, but it was a good pitch. She's still throwing the ball pretty firm late in the game. Ms. Cagle.
Here's a slow roller, 3rd foul. (8-1) Clemson.
Partner, if it kills me, I'm going to identify that left fielder before this.
It's Logaleo.
That is Logaleo?
Yeah. They moved her in on us. Oda's in right and got Logaleo now over in left. And there's a check swing on a ball that bounced up there for strike 3 to end the inning. So a runner left, nothing in for Virginia Tech. 8-1 Clemson. (8-1) in favor of Clemson. Take a look there at Virginia Tech. All right, let's talk a little bit. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast that you and I were here when Clemson upset Georgia, and here's some highlights from that one on what was a big night in this stadium.
That was it's an electric of an atmosphere you'd want to be on. You see there,
Cagle fielding in a position to end it.
Starting a double play.
Yep. John Rittman a little excited to find the back half of the plate, and this was a final out that wrapped up the victory for Clemson, and the celebration was on.
You can tell they were well pleased. We got another pitching change in the game now for Virginia Tech. You got number 10, Mackenzie Osborne. She's listed as a freshman, but I'm not going to make any commitments at all about her whatsoever.
I've already found out I can't believe you, so I gotta.
I'm not even going to say.
Osborne. As Casey Bingham will step in. Osborne winds and delivers, and it's fouled off. Osborne, a 4-year letter winner. But that, of course, was in high school as a freshman comes on to pitch from Richlands, Virginia.
With the score being 8-1, in theory, Clemson could end this game this half inning. If they were to score one more run, the 8-run rule would go into effect, and we could get out of this cold weather. No pressure, ladies.
Bingham 2 for 2. A couple of RBIs and a run scored. 1-1 missing high.
But if you're John Rittman and the Clemson Tigers, you've just got to be very pleased with the fact that you've gotten this first day. Well, we didn't even know if we'd get the game in today. And then to get the game in and to play well, it's just a big, just a big shot in the arm for this team and their confidence.
Let's take a look there into the Clemson dugout. Foul ball to the screen, evens the count at 2-2 here to Bingham. 2-2 offering, high and outside. 3-2. Rochard started it. Hewitt came in, pitched an inning. Couple of runs. Staying alive at the plate as Bingham. She fouls off the 3-2 offering.
But both of the Virginia Tech pitchers have actually pitched better than the scoreboard would indicate.
Yeah, there's been some errors behind them now. Only 2 of the 8 runs for Clemson up on the board are earned. Again, good job by Bingham to stay alive. Again, the 3-2. Hot shot to second. Nice pick there by Green.
She hit it firm. But right at the second baseman.
Back to the top of the order for the Tigers, center fielder number 7, Mackenzie Clark.
Good job. It's just
did a good job of going down. That ball was sinking on her.
Yep.
And she just kept going with the ball and got down on one knee and made the play.
Here's Clark. Fouling it off.
Don't you know on a cold day, the first thing you want to do is foul a ball off your foot. You just wake up wanting to do that.
Clark 1 for 3, singled her last time up.
If it doesn't hurt now, that will hurt in an hour.
Oh, 1 chopper to third. Good pick by Bennett and the throw across. 2 away.
Big one hop.
It's good reaction there by Bennett towards the line.
Yep.
We've got a pitch hitter here. As Morgan Johnson.
Johnson hitting from Matamore. And I'll tell you what this is. This is nothing more than an attempt by John Rittman to get a big power hitter up there.
End it.
And who might can end this thing.
Yeah. Osborne will deliver. Johnson will swing and miss. Right there, Johnson. Practice that swing. Let's barrel up on something.
Yeah.
0-1. Cut on and couldn't catch up with the fastball.
Late again.
Two. Went outside and missed.
Johnson was injured a year ago. So this is the redshirt freshman year.
Swinging and missing, down on strikes goes Johnson. 1-2-3 goes Clemson here in the bottom of the sixth, but they lead it 8-1 as we'll head off to the seventh. 8-1 in favor of Clemson. We go to the top of the seventh here in Clemson, South Carolina, as we take a look at the roster breakdown for that man, John Rittman. And, okay, 19 freshmen. That's because everybody got their season back, and, of course, because last year was also season one for
Correct.
Clemson.
And it's the virus and the NCAA's justified decision to give everybody a year of eligibility back has created some big roster management issues.
We can talk about that as we go through the inning. Cagle out there on the hill still. Delivers first pitch.
And it doesn't I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It doesn't necessarily affect the current members of the team, but recruiting for 2 seasons down the road will be sharply affected by this.
Usually it's that pitch hitter, Alexis Melosis, step in.
Because you only have X amount of scholarships to offer, and you've only got X amount of slots on the roster. So there's a log jam right now, and it's industry-wide in all sports.
Here's a called strike. Two and one. Pitch will miss high, 3-1. You actually have some of these Clemson freshmen that have been on campus for 3 years.
Yes.
Because they came in when there was no program before even season one last year.
Correct.
And so they play a year last year, part of. Here they are, in this third-year freshman. 3-1 pitch. Usually you're getting in trouble with mom and dad if you're a third-year freshman, and there's an opening walk to start the top of the seventh. And that's the first walk given up by Cagle.
Good to see Bigham go over there. She probably told Cagle, if you walk in another one, I'm going to hit you.
So now bring up Addie Green, second baseman. Green 0 for 2. First pitch a called strike.
Oh, that's huge, getting ahead in the count.
The 0-1, missing outside.
Outside a little bit. I really would be hammering that zone right now, boys. Make them put it in play. Put it in play.
Took something off of that.
It did drift outside the zone.
1-1 from Cagle. There's a ball up the middle and through for a base hit. So Virginia Tech not going to go quietly. Runners first and second, nobody out here in the top of the seventh.
See the young freshman Clark out there in the center field.
Look at Cagle. That'll even hits up now at 7 apiece. Runners first and second. Nobody out. Is Addington.
One more base runner, and you may see somebody starting to stir around down in the Clemson bullpen. I would hate to see that to have to happen, but it surely might.
Kaylee Addington takes first pitch for a strike. Swing and a miss. Nothing in 2.
There's your pitch right there. That's what you ought to be living with right there. That was just nice and firm. Grabbed a good portion of the plate, but it wasn't a fat one.
The 0-2, swing and a miss. On 3 straight pitches, Addington goes down on strikes, 1 away.
And if you're John Rittman in dugout, he's thinking, why didn't you do that with the first 2? But that first out is huge.
Back to the top of the order. Fagan trying to slap one and swings and misses.
Ran right through it and right by it. So you're off to do baseball tomorrow.
Baseball here tomorrow.
Yep.
Cincinnati will come in to face the Clemson baseball team. And this Clemson softball will have 2 against these same Hokies starting at noon.
I think Mark Childers is going to be joining me tomorrow.
I believe so. 0-2 the count here to Fagan. And baseball won't start till 4 o'clock, and ballpark right behind us. If you're not familiar with the athletic footprint here at Clemson, these 2 parks actually share part of the same facility. As far as the stands are concerned, there's one that's lifted foul back out of play.
It's an awesome, beautiful facility here and a great view. The softball setting is just wonderful because you just look beyond the left field wall and you see the football building. You look beyond the right center wall, you can see the track and field.
There's the Chapman grandstands that make up the left field of the baseball stadium.
Yeah.
0-2 from Cagle. Outside corner, called strike 3. Got her looking. And 2 away here in the top of the 7th. So Virginia Tech down to their last hope. It'll be Jamie Bailey. He was 1 for 3, a double in the 3rd.
Her job's just to keep the inning alive.
Runners first and second, but now with 2 outs. 8-1 Clemson. Cagle delivers, gets ahead in the count. Bailey fouls it off out of play, 0-1. Pitch in the air, down the left field corner, and that will be just foul off of the wall.
And the wind has shifted a little bit from earlier in the game, and the wind helped that ball get foul.
And that was close to scoring 2 for Virginia Tech. Right there. The shift of the wind just changed things a little. That was only fouled by about 3 feet.
Yeah, that was a little too close for comfort. But the good news is you got a 0-2 count.
Yeah.
The Hokies are down to their last strike.
Runners lead will be at first and second. Pitch to Bailey, went off speed. They get her, check swing, they appeal, and they say no. 1-2.
All right, boo.
One more look at this check swing.
It's close enough to boo.
Robert Guess actually out there between first and second with runners at first and second. So not right down the line. Here's a pitch. That's called strike 3, and that's ball game. Clemson knocks off 14th ranked Virginia Tech here, 8-1 to take the first game in this series. As Cagle will go the distance.
Great job. she was a little shaky in her pitching earlier in the game. She survived it, and she got better as the game went on. And just like that, the Clemson Tigers have knocked off number 14, Virginia Tech, and that is their second win in the program's history against a ranked opponent.
And you and I have done them both.
Look at us. They should pay us more.
Cagle ends up striking out the side here in the top of the 7th as Clemson is victorious here this afternoon by a final count of 8-1. So, early on in this game, things didn't really get rocking and rolling until we got into the third inning for Clemson. They put 5 on the board in the third to take a 5-0 lead at that point. Virginia Tech came back with a run in the fourth, 5-1, but then Clemson answered with a run in the bottom of that inning, got a couple more on the board, and wins it 8-1 today here in Clemson, South Carolina. Thanks for being with us here on the ACC Network.